is me. And for the longest time, my life was a complete and utter mess. To say I was disorganized would be the understatement of the century. I had life plans in one journal, daily plans on multiple to-do list pads, scripts in a notebook, grocery and chores lists on my phone's notes app, and every time I would start my brand new life plan and then fail it after a week, I felt like I had to start with a fresh, brand new journal, resulting in a graveyard of barely filled planners and notebooks. And so I constantly felt overwhelmed, disorganized, and like the ultimate hot mess express because none of my plans ever seemed to actually work for me, and it seemed like the more I planned, the more I would procrastinate. That is, until I finally created a single planning system that actually works for me and helps me break down my goals into manageable chunks that keep me in the present and don't overwhelm me. So today I'll be going over my simple but effective second brain in Notion, which helps me organize my entire life and keep me sane while I juggle a million different things. Okay, so as you guys are seeing the overview of my second brain, I want to clarify that I'm going to be walking through the main features of my Notion, but I'm not going to be going over like specific Notion tips. That will be on my second channel, which I'll link in the description box if you want to see a much longer version of the Notion tour and like more hacks and all that kind of stuff. So in this video, I'm going to go over planning tips and my Notion setup and just why I structured it this way and why it works for me to stop procrastinating through planning. And if you're new to Notion and you don't know what it is, it's basically a platform that allows you to plan, track whatever you want to, and just do and keep all of your work in one place. I've been using it since 2020, but I've only like the past couple of years really fully transitioned into almost completely using Notion for everything. But yeah, as you can see from my past templates, you can make it as simple and as aesthetic as you want. And Notion also has a template gallery with a bunch of templates that you can duplicate into your workspace, so you don't even have to do like the building of everything yourself if you don't want to. Okay, so welcome to my second brain. So this is like the main portal or hub where I can access the pages that I use the most. So as you can see here, I divided it into daily, so things or pages that I use daily, self-care, since I reference that a lot, and over here I have goals, so that's habit tracker, habits that I'm tracking, months at a glance, which is like my 12-week year, which I'll get into, and then also my projects, which is like YouTube projects, school projects, and my finances. And then so on the top left, as you can see, I have a navigation bar. So this allows me to go to any of these pages that I use a lot. And so as you can see here, it shows up on basically every single page that I use. It's on the top left, and that way also when I'm looking on the phone app, it also shows up at the top, so it's really easy to navigate through my whole system. Okay, so now that we've gone over that, I wanted to show you guys also my notification center, which keeps me updated with how many projects I'm doing, how many tasks are due today, and how many overdue tasks I have. And this just helps me because the first thing that I see in the morning is just like how many things I have due today, so I'm constantly reminded of what's going on in my life. And the way I did that is it's linked to my deadline dump, as you can see here. And so this is my deadline dump. It literally just has all of the deadlines of like school stuff. I would put deadlines for all of the assignments in my classes, and dates for immovable things like a doctor's appointment that I scheduled months in advance, or a birthday party, since that's not going to move most likely since a birthday happens once a year. I can see how many days are left and whether it's overdue, due tomorrow, etc. And as you can see here, also in the deadline dump, I can tell AI to automatically update the week. So sometimes if a deadline changes, I'll just click this update button and the AI will automatically update which week the deadline is in. Okay, so then as you can see here, I just have like how many exercise sessions I have, how many YouTube videos I've done, new things that I've done, courses completed. So just as an example, like let's say you're taking 4 courses and you complete 4 courses, so then you can put 4. I haven't completed any courses yet this semester, so I have 0. So now that I've shown you guys the homepage, let's dive into the most important pages in my Notion setup that saved my life. So as you can see here, I've broken down my life from basically backwards. So it goes like from today, then I'll see like what's going on this week, in this quarter, and then in the year. And I kind of did this based on the year at a glance, months at a glance, week at a glance, based on bullet journaling, which I did for a while, and I just like that system, so I kind of put it into my Notion. Today is just, as you can see, where I would have the things that I have to do today. Okay, so as you can see here, I split up my life into like 4 main categories for the day. work, fitness, studies, and meals. And so basically I generally like to have maximum 3 things in each category, but obviously sometimes it's impossible and I'll just put more into a category depending on the day. And they're usually in order of priority or in order of chronological order of when I want to do them. And that just helps me understand like what I'm doing in what order and make everything clear. And then down here, I'll actually take and copy and paste the 3 most important things from all of these categories. So for example, I'll put this. Let's say that I haven't worked out in a while and I'm feeling like I really need workouts. So I'll put in whatever it is that I want to prioritize doing in here. And then let's say I also really want to do some studying, or I need to do some studying, so I'll put it in here. So that way I see the 3 priorities of the day. And I also base this off of the Eisenhower matrix. Okay, so this is the Eisenhower matrix. It's basically where you have things, to-do list things in important or urgent, less important, and then stuff that you just delete. I just have the category of like what's urgent and important, and then what's menial or like less urgent, but it's still like phone calls or just emails or things that aren't like super pressing and have to be done today, but that are in the back of my mind that I want to get done. So now that I've shown you guys how I kind of structure my to-do list, let's go down to my favorite thing ever in Notion, which is buttons. So you can press the button and your entire to-do list for the morning just pops up. Same thing with the night routine, the entire night routine just pops up. And then once you've done the morning routine, you just delete it. And so then down here, I have a time blocker, which is basically just a schedule for the day. Usually it stays roughly the same, but if something's like happening, so for example, let's say I just want to write in like what the schedule is for the day. And then let's say hypothetically, I have a tennis match. And then voila. So that way I can kind of see an overview of the whole day in the morning and just see like how my day is time blocked out, if that makes sense. And also this is the deadline dump, again, just in a different format. So as you can see here, it's in the calendar format, which is helpful just to see like what's going on visually. So now let's go into this week. This is a board view of what's going on this week, and I can also filter it based on the categories. For instance, I have nothing going on for family stuff, like no birthdays, no trips. I have nothing going on for finances this week, but I have this stuff going on for my hobbies and this stuff going for my hypothetical neuroscience class. Every week I just change it from this week, it's showing week 12. So now it's gonna show next week. Once the next week starts, I'll put week 13 instead of week 12. And so then down here, I have my tasks for the week for my quarterly goals. So that way I can also see in the week the full view of the deadlines I have and also all the goals, things that I have to do for my goals that week. And so then down here, I also have this week's plan. So I'll just write in anything going on in this week, and I'll write out my plan for the week. So now let's go into months at a glance, which I think is like one of my favorite pages. I like how it turned out so much. And so as you can see here, it shows the 4 quarters of the year. And I based this system off of the 12-week yearbook. You guys might have heard of it. It's kind of gone viral recently, but I actually read it a while ago. And also I've been doing this already for the past 3 years before I even read the book. And I just really realized that it's really hard for me to focus on a whole year's goals, and it really overwhelms me. So the whole purpose of the 12-week year system is to basically have you accomplish more in this short amount of time this quarter, because you're more intense about it and intentional rather than spreading it out over the whole year and basically being like, I have the whole year ahead, you know, I can just put this off. So it makes you focus more on the present. And that's really something, again, that I emphasize is super important for me, is to focus on the present. The biggest problem I had with planning was that I would always get so overwhelmed with the big picture, get so overwhelmed with how many steps there are to achieve my goal and how far away things are. And it's so helpful to have my big overview plan basically just be 3 months, and then also break it down into then the week and then today. Okay, so I'm gonna go into April, May, and June since those are coming up. So you can see my quarterly goals. You can also see the visual format of the goals, and then once I complete them, they'll go into the completed goals section. And I like to go, again, week by week, basically. I don't like to fill out all 12 weeks in advance because I don't know how well I'll be advancing. So I prefer to set up my goals for the week like Sunday before the week. And yeah, so that way every time I make progress, it shows up in here. And I just like that because it shows me how I'm making progress and in the short term, and I really like that. At the bottom, I have my quarterly reflection. So I just write in, and I have it for every quarter, I just write in what my thoughts were basically for the quarter. Sometimes I'll add in more information. And so that way I also reflect after every quarter. So it's not like I'm just randomly attacking my goals with no strategy at all. And I keep checking in on like what worked, what didn't work, why didn't it work, and then I have a record. So at the end of each quarter and at the end of the year, I can also look back on like what my thoughts were and like how my goals went, and I can see a record of them in my Notion of like each week. And I think it's a really helpful way to track progress and goals. Okay, so my year at a glance. So I like to set directions instead of goals for the year. So basically just like focus areas of what I want to really focus on this year. But yeah, so these are just generally things that I can control. Again, they're not results oriented, they're action oriented in the sense that they're about what I can do for my goals rather than the results that I'll achieve. I also put in a vision board. This is not my vision board. I got it from Pinterest, but I personally don't make vision boards. I just put it in for the vibes, honestly. And so here you can see my year at a glance. So this is just, again, based on the bullet journal year at a glance. And I just put in all of the dates for the year of like appointments, trips, you know, birthdays, holidays, whatever is going on, and I'll put them in here. And now let's go into my habit tracker. In my habit tracker, it's a habit tracker. So I just count if I hit 10K steps that day, if I stretched for 15 minutes, if I read for 20 minutes, if I journaled, if I had my bedtime by 10, and also how many sleep hours I had. And you can see here, it then shows me the average amount of sleep that I have. And it also shows me how many checked boxes I have, so you can see how many days I managed to accomplish those goals or those habits. And so also when I click add new habit tracker, it generates a new habit tracker for the month. So in projects, I have my projects, obviously. So these are just like little reminders. And then once I actually go into each window, I can see which projects I currently have going on. And that links to the notification center on the front page. Here, I also have just the list of all of the things that I have to do for each video. As you can see here, I already did the morning routine video that hopefully you guys have watched. But as you can see here, I have all of the tasks that I had to do for the video. I also have in here the outline of the video. And this is a template, so it automatically generates whenever I create a new, say, YouTube video template. I can generate this entire new template with the outline, voiceovers, and all the tasks that I'll write in here. And so now in academia, we have the courses. I'm not taking any courses right now, but these are from last semester as an example. So I click on it and I can see the course description. I could see instructor information, TA info, anything about this course, like the letter grade, credits, etc. I fill it all out in the beginning of the semester from the syllabus. I would put in here like some typed notes or PDFs of my notes just to save them in here. And then down here, I can see all of the tasks that I haven't started, all of the assignments that I have for the class right in here. And then down here, I can see the deliverables for the week, so I can filter it by week. So let's make it week 12. And so you can see I have nothing for pseudoscience, but I have some stuff for neuroscience in here. So this is just an easy way to see what's going on this week just for school. And so then I also have the monthly view again of the deadline dump just to see the things going on in my school. And I filtered it so it only shows my classes. It doesn't show family, doesn't show hobbies, doesn't show YouTube, just shows my classes. And over here in useful info, I have my degree audit. So again, this is not my actual degree, this is an example, but it shows me what my degree is. For instance, I'm getting a communications minor, and then it shows me which classes I need in here, and then also whether I've done them or they're in progress, and that just helps with keeping track of classes. I also have a past list of all the former classes, again, not my actual classes, but these are examples of like you could put in your letter grade, so like put A minus, you could put A, and then also all the credits, the level, the weights of the classes, as well as the instructor names and which semester it happened. And in important files, I have transcripts, I have scholarship information, financial aid tuition payments, past tuition payments, so I can see how much I paid for each semester, and then whether I paid them or not yet. And then also I can do some calculations, but it usually sums it up perfectly fine by itself. In transcripts, would have past transcripts, so just as an example. In here, if you want to save them, to make sure you have them saved. And then applications, I would put in my dream list of universities. Obviously, Hogwarts is my #1 dream university for grad school. And so yeah, so that's an overview of my academia page. You can see I themed it in like academia, and also I have a Pomodoro timer here set up so that it goes for 50 minutes, and then also a break timer by the tea break. Okay, so those are my main pages. I'll show you really quickly the rest of the pages that I use frequently. So I have workouts. So this is really straightforward. I just write in, I do this warm up every single time I work out. I also have a little timer for it, as well as for the elliptical. I tend to do the elliptical before I work out as well, just to warm up my legs. And then down here, I have just all the workouts that I use. This is literally everything, so I don't have to like manually go to YouTube and then get distracted by all of the side stuff going on and get distracted from working out. So I literally just put in the workout that I use to work out that you guys saw in my morning routine. And then down here, it's basically just a fitness tracker, and I can generate a new one each week from the generate fitness tracker. And so now we have the glow station, which is one of my favorites. I think it looks so cute, and it's literally just information about what I'm doing to stay fabulous. But it's all about skincare, so like my favorite skincare routine videos that I watched, my current prescriptions, vitamins for skin, hair stuff, information about my hair routines, energy supplements down here, sleep information, like makeup routines and stuff. And then I put in here makeup I have a bad reaction to, because I have had allergies to makeup for many years. I have a self-care shopping list that is updated based on the status of how full something is. So I just update it and then I buy it. I have the links to them right here, so I can just literally click on it. So also very convenient. So in here I just have recipes that I've been doing. So I put in the recipe for them, as well as the grocery list, and it's super convenient because I can easily just go and copy and paste this. If I want to make it this week, I can just copy it and paste it into the grocery list. And I also have them in categories of whether they're hot or cold, because in the summer and in the warm months, I prefer colder foods, usually like cold soups. In the cold winter months, I prefer hot soups, hot meals. So that way I can also categorize the foods based on whether they're hot or cold, and also how long it takes to cook. Okay, so now we're here in my library. I haven't read very much at all. I've actually only read 2 books so far this year, and I finally am starting to get back into reading. So in here, as you can see, I clicked on it and it shows when I started it, and then also when I finished it. It also shows the genre, it shows how many stars I gave it, and the status of it, as well as the author. So that way, again, I can categorize the books. So hopefully, as I start reading more books, this will fill up and be a little bit more presentable to you guys. Last but not least, we have finances. So here I have the link to PayPal and Bank of America. And then I also have a calculator here just in case I need one. And also just reminders, like for example, if the first of the month is coming up, so pay bills, or any other reminders like do taxes. That's gonna be fun. And also, this is not at all my actual income, spendings, etc. This is just a pure example for you guys, so you can see how this works. So as you can see here, I have my financial snapshots by month. I also like to handwrite them and put them in a folder, but it's useful to have them also in here as well. This is where I write in my monthly, and I just erase it once the month is done, do a screenshot, put it into the financial snapshots of the month, as you can see here, like that. So then I just remove everything from the month once the first of the month starts, and then I start from the beginning. So just as an example for the month of January, again, this is just an example, not accurate at all. Let's say that I made $2,000 from sponsorships, $2,000 from AdSense, $150 from dog sitting, and $100 from Paperlike, for example. And so then I put the income categories, and then I put the month as well. And then I also put where I put the money into once I earned that income. And then I also have my expenses in here. I have the amount of the money that I paid. I have where I paid it from. If I use a credit card, if I paid directly from my bank account, my personal account, if I used my business account, and I also put which category. So if it's like family, for example, that would be rent, that would be gifts for birthdays, and groceries, obviously groceries. Business purchases would be anything for my channel. And yeah, so I just have them by categories. And then down here, it's useful because then it's linked to here. So it shows how much in total I have. The total expense, I did not spend $20,000, but the total expense of the different categories. So the same thing here, I see the total income for the month as well as by category. And then also in here, I have, again, my accounts and balance on my credit card based on what was written in the income and expenses. And then finally, I have my savings down here. So I have my savings that I'm working towards. I have like monthly savings, and then I also have specific goal savings, for example, for the bathroom renovation, for my bathroom, for birthdays, for giveaways, things that I have to specifically save for that aren't just like general monthly savings. Okay, so that's it for my Notion tour. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Also, there is a giveaway in this video. The information is in the description box, but yeah, I will be giving away a keyboard. Also, I will have some free templates from my Notion in the description box, as well as the full template that I've just showed you available as well in the description box. It's the first product I've ever launched on this channel. I can't believe I finally did it after almost 8 years. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. I hope you guys enjoy this setup and the template as much as I do, and all the aesthetics and everything. I'd like to make some more specific templates in the future for you guys based on your demands. So please don't hesitate to give me feedback on like how you like the template if you do buy it and try it out. And basically everything that I make from this template, if anyone actually bothers to buy it, is gonna go towards the 2 million giveaway that I'm planning. That's going to be very big. So yeah, any support for the channel would be appreciated, but you absolutely do not have to buy the template. You can just reference what I showed you guys. It's literally just for if you really want to try it and if this is something that you think would fit with you. I don't want to like pressure you guys into buying anything that you don't want or you don't need, okay? So just want to clarify that. But yeah, so huge thank you to Notion for sponsoring the video. I love them so much. I've been using them again for 4 years. I really do think they can change your life if you use Notion the right way. So helpful for someone like me who gets overwhelmed with like big pictures and planning and just constantly rewriting things and buying new journals and everything. Like, it saves so much time and money just having everything in one place. So if you want to check out Notion, the link will be in my description box. And yeah, I highly recommend checking out Notion.